Hey, I could not let this moment pass. The last time I saw a mental breakdown on the public airways like this was Mariah Carey before they carried her off, the little men in their white jackets. Watching Bill Clinton today, the only thing that I can honestly say is once all of the rational, reasonable, logical people could pick their mouths up off the floor, that's how agape they were, it's amazing that this country is still here. This man was president. This complete and utter nut job. This megalomaniacal, self-obsessed, narcissistic, deceitful nutcase was president for 8 years. So we're going to look at some of it together, okay? Because it's too rich. It's too delish. It's too fun. So come on with mama. We're going to have a good old time. Now, if you want to see what paranoia looks like, and you want to see what paranoia sounds like, you just have to watch this.
And you got that little smirk on your face, and you think you're so clever. But I had responsibility for trying to protect this. No one knew Al-Qaeda existed then. And
but did they know in 1996 when he declared war on the U.S.? Did they know in 1998
Absolutely.
when he bombed the two embassies?
But Al-Qaeda didn't exist.
What did I do? I worked hard to try to kill him. I authorized the finding for the CIA.
I authorized it. I took my pen.
We contracted with people to kill him. I got closer to killing him than anybody's gotten since. And if I were still president, we'd have more than 20,000.
He got closer to killing him than anybody has since. Close, but no cigar. Thumbs up.
And I think it's very interesting that all the conservative Republicans who now say I didn't do enough claimed that I was too obsessed with bin Laden. All of President Bush's neocons thought I was too obsessed with bin Laden. They had no meetings on bin Laden for 9 months after I left office.
I guess that would be me, one of Bush's neocons. Trust me and people that I agree with, the like-minded, never thought he was too obsessed with bin Laden. Cigars and uterine tubes, but never with bin Laden. But hey, I'm just one of those crazy neocons, right? And you got to watch his face. I wish I was more tech savvy, because I would love to do close-ups of his face, because he's really one wild, wacky, paranoid. He makes Nixon look positively confident.
Oh, you ask it. You brought it up.
May I ask you a general question, and then you can answer?
Yeah.
The 9/11.
I didn't do enough, said I did too much.
Oh yeah, we all said he did
people.
Too much.
They were all trying to get me to withdraw from Somalia in 1993 the next day.
The next day.
After we were involved.
Because he didn't know what he was doing there.
And I refused to do it and stayed 6 months and had an orderly transfer.
Yeah, it was orderly. Somalia is an Islamic nation.
Black Hawk down, Somalia. There is not a
Black Hawk
living
down.
soul in
I want
the
soldiers
world
on this show.
who thought that's the difference in me and some, including all the right-wingers that are attacking me now. They ridicule me for trying. They had 8 months to try. They did not try. I tried. So I tried and failed. Don't tell me this. You asked me why did I do more to bin Laden. There was not a living soul.
Not a living soul.
All the people who now criticize me wanted to leave the next day. You brought this up.
Only cares about what everybody else was thinking. He was the president. It was his decisions.
But bin Laden may have said
Bin Laden says that, but it showed the weakness of the United States.
But it would have shown the weakness if we'd left right away. But he wasn't involved in that. That's just a bunch of bull. That was about Muhammad Adid, a Muslim warlord, murdering 22 Pakistani Muslim troops. We were all there on a humanitarian mission. We had no
Always listen, let me tell you something. That's the whole thing. You notice, for a humanitarian mission, right? And when he was deploying those troops and she was giving him head under the desk, he was on the phone deploying troops to Bosnia. Humanitarian mission, right? What about the safety of this country? What about the coal and coal bar and the bombing of the towers back in 93? Where was he on that? Why not the protection of the country? What humanitarian? And why go into a country like Somalia without a plan, without a strategy? Paranoia. Ready?
So you did Fox's bidding on this show. You did your nice little conservative hit job on me. What I want to know is...
He asked him a question. He asked him a question.
No, it was a perfectly legitimate question, but I want to know how many people in the Bush administration you asked this question of. I want to know how many people in the Bush administration you asked, why didn't you do anything about the coal? I want to know how many people you asked, why did you fire Dick Clark? I want to know how many people you asked about this.
The coal, wasn't that 96? What did Bush have to do with the coal? I'm telling you, unhinged. Unhinged.
Afghanistan, there's plenty of stuff to ask.
Did you ever ask that? You set this meeting up because you're going to get a lot of criticism from your viewers because Rupert Murdoch supported my work on climate change. And you came here under false pretenses.
This is not paranoia?
Half the time talking about, you said you'd spend half the time talking.
He's going to get a lot of flack from his viewers for Rupert Murdoch support of climate change. He's not crazy?
About 215 different commitments, and you don't care.
But President Clinton, if you look at the questions here, you'll see half the questions about that. I didn't think this was going to set you off on such a tear.
You launched it. It set off on a tear because you didn't formulate it in an honest way, and because you people ask me questions you don't have.
I did not have sex with that woman. This man's talking honesty? He has the nerve to invoke honesty?
Our military was against sending special forces into Afghanistan and refueling, but no one thought we could do it otherwise because we could not get the CIA and the FBI to certify that Al-Qaeda was responsible while I was president. And so I left office.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you? Is this how you turn down a Hollywood Pinocchio that cries like a woman? What can I do? What can I do? What is that now? Look at